Today we are gathered to celebrate the graduation of Class 22-002. For the past 3 weeks, these NCOs have learned leadership, counseling, coaching, mentoring, Army writing, critical thinking, and problem solving to prepare them as leaders for their respective recruiting and retention battalions. The guest speaker for today is Command Sergeant Major Thomas J. Martin. Command Sergeant Major Thomas J. Martin joined the Arkansas Army National Guard in 1996, enlisting as a 13 Papa. In 2019, he accepted his current assignment as the Indiana Army National Guard Recruiting and Retention Battalion Command Sergeant Major. Command Sergeant Major Martin has served in the regular Army as well as Title 10 and Title 32 AGR. His past assignments include Army National Guard Recruiting and Retention Division Sergeant Major at NGB, Reserve Component Retention Sergeant Major with the Army's 4th Infantry Division at Fort Carson, Colorado, Senior TRADOC Liaison at Fort Eustis, Virginia, and Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, TRADOC Liaison NCO at Fort Sill, Oklahoma, Gunnery Sergeant with the 2nd of the 142nd Field Artillery Battalion, Squad Leader with the 1st of the 141st Field Artillery Battalion, Recruiting Retention NCO with the Arkansas Army National Guard, and Forward Observer with the 212th Field Artillery Brigade, Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Command Sergeant Major Martin has deployed twice, 2005 in support of Operation Enduring Freedom with the 256 BCT, and in 2006-2007 with the 142nd Fires Brigade. At this time, it is with great pleasure to introduce the Command Sergeant Major of the Indiana Army National Guard Recruiting and Retention Battalion, Command Sergeant Major Thomas J. Martin.
Well, as I continue to try and get the microphone turned on, I'll just stand here. I hope that works. All right, so congratulations, Class 22-002. You guys, this is a phenomenal accomplishment for any NCO. You've knocked out another NCOES in your career, right? For many of you, this is just one more in, this is just one more step in a long career, hopefully, right? So recognizing that I'm probably the only thing standing between you, your certificate, and getting home, I'll try and maintain the 3 B's of speech giving. I will be brief, I'll try to be brilliant, and then I'll be gone. So being a senior leader in recruiting has always been challenging, it's always been difficult, but never have we been in an environment like we have today. Each and every one of you faces challenges each and every one of you faces challenges that we haven't seen before, right? With the environment that we have, with the processing challenges that you guys have, it's difficult. So most of you in this room, if not all of you, joined after September 11th, 2001. And in the last 20 years, we've seen changes in the environment, in the prospecting methods, in the missions of the state, and most importantly, changes in how you process the men and women that desire to serve this nation. However, throughout all of the changes, one thing remains constant. You, us, non-commissioned officers, challenged and expected to deliver the mission of providing for each and every state and for the strength of the Army National Guard. The NCOs, for the last 20 years and the last 25 years that I've been in, have been challenged and had the responsibility and the onus to bring forth the new folks, the next generation. Each and every one of you in here had a recruiter, right? Somebody brought you into the fold, brought you into the Army National Guard, and now you're sitting here doing the same thing, passing on that legacy. Your roles as leaders in the recruiting and retention force means a lot more than your individual mission or the roles that each of you perform. You're the sentries at the gate, defending the end strength of your state. End strength is an extremely important objective because when states fail to meet end strength, they have to look at things like forced divestiture, the loss of units, the loss of positions, the AGR positions, the monetary incentives that go along with all those units that the states have. So what you do each and every day by bringing people into the Army National Guard is more than just your individual number. It's more than your individual objective. It's more than the collective numbers that each and every one of you may have signed for, right? You are building the force structure of the Army National Guard. the force structure of your respective states. And with that, you're preparing those force to be able to respond to the presidential missions, the governor's missions, everything that we've got from COVID response to fires, hurricanes, tornadoes, every natural disaster that we could possibly have. The Army National Guard is there, in addition to the warfighting functions that each and every one of us have had to call. A lot of my recruiters have heard me talk about impact. It's one of my favorite speeches, right? Nobody has more impact than a recruiter, because a recruiter changes the life, right? And all of you are going to be senior NCOs, so you're going to have impact on not only the soldiers that you recruit, but you're going to have an impact on those junior recruiters. Impact from the ground up. And I say this because most of you in here may be able to name one or two of your instructors from a previous course. Hopefully you're able to name at least one or two instructors from this course, right? And they're sitting right here. Realistically, though, if you look back over the course of your military career, can you name every instructor you've had? Probably not. Some people can, but very, very few. But almost everyone remembers their recruiter. Why? Because that recruiter is the person who's changed their entire life trajectory, right? That recruiter saw T.J. Martin, high school student, and he stopped being T.J. Martin, high school student. He became Private Martin as soon as I enlisted in the Army National Guard. You guys make that change. You change lives. You change everything about that person's trajectory the minute that they join the Army National Guard. You have an impact on that person's life, their family, and now as senior NCOs, you're going to have that impact on the recruiters who follow behind you. Because believe it or not, you have the most important job in the organization. You build the end strength, you lead others, you guide paths, and you foster careers. Every one of us in here as a recruiter has had a soldier who's called them after the completion of basic and AIT, probably, and said, hey, I need some help. And we continue to provide that help. We're career counselors, we're recruiters, but we are there for the benefit of those individuals, right? We guide, we shape, we mentor. So with the SLC behind you, you've had additional training now. You can coach, train, and mentor more successfully, not only the people that you've enlisted, but the recruiters, the young recruiters who are coming up behind you. So please recognize you have impact. You are the force provider for the Army National Guard. So don't take that responsibility lightly. And I ask that as you head home, you think about some things and set some goals for yourself. So I started with 3 Bs. I'm going to end it on 3 Ds because I just like alliteration. Stay dedicated to your mission and your soldiers. Be deliberate with your time and with your actions. And I'm pausing for effect here. And most importantly, remain determined. Whatever it is you set out to do, remain determined, right? If your goal is to become a first sergeant, become a sergeant major, stay determined in that goal. If your goal is to raise an awesome family, stay determined in that goal. So as you leave here today, set those goals for yourself. And most importantly, be proud of what you've accomplished. Be proud of what you've done to bring strength to the nation, and be proud of the future that you have in front of you. Class 22-002, congratulations. Great job.
Command Sergeant Major, thank you for those encouraging words to these recruiting and retention non-commissioned officers.